Well, thank you. Thank you very much for coming. I know it is Sunday. It is kind of difficult to be here early in the morning, and I understand that you come from another conference or another talk. Yeah. So that's why I want to really thank you. Our topic today is this one you see on the screen. Millennials are teaching learning strategies. Yes. Come on in. I would like to start this presentation with a new question, yes, and something you can see related to this question on the next slide. Yes. Why don't we travel back in time? Yes, to define this generation. Yes, this can be a polemic generation. Yes, and I know what I say when I mention the word polemic generation, but we are going to specify why, yes, and the way we can discuss about this concept. Yes, there are a lot of theories that we can consider to define millennials, right? And I don't know if you have an idea about that. I mean, that generation that was born between what year and what year? And here we're going to have a lot of differences. I mean, some people are going to say, those people were born this year, from this year to this year. I want to hear you. I mean, the concept you got in mind, according to the years when they were born. Any idea you got in mind? 2000 some?
1990.
90s, 2000s, 90s, 85. So as you can see here, we got a little problem because she says from 2000 on, and then 90s, 90s too, right? And then 80s. Who's right? 90s. Yes. So if you take a look, here, yes, here, the people who are here, who do you think are millennials? Her? She's a millennial? A pure millennial? I'm here. The question was a different one. The question was supposed to be, who considers herself a millennial, right? And I'm pretty sure that everybody wants to say, okay, me. Well, that's a pretension only, but okay, pure millennials, maybe her. Yes?
So what were you born?
That's a hard question. I mean, she's a woman.
No, she's young. She can answer.
She can show up.
96.
96 is...
Oh, she's a post-millennial, actually. Yes. She's Generation Z.
Yes. Well, between...
Yes, she's a Generation Z, actually.
I'm already.
You need to go to another talk, maybe. Because you're going to be our example, right?
Yes.
Any other person who was born between 88, 89, 92, you were born in? 99? Same case.
89.
89. 99.
He's a pure millennial.
Yeah, pure millennial. Yes.
Pure?
91? 91?
He's also pure millennial.
Also pure millennial. Yes. Any other person? I'm sorry, no, 91. Because you were like... Okay. 92. All right. Obviously, Oscar and I, we are not millennials because he was born in 65, I guess?
68.
I'm sorry, he's 68.
I know that you're younger, I mean, I don't mind.
Yeah. I was born in 69, so we are hippies. There is a hippie living inside us all the time.
Baby boomers, right?
Yeah, baby boomers, yeah. Yeah, 60s are baby boomers.
The silent
The
ones.
silent is before like 40s, 50s. The silent. If I ask you that question, I mean, everybody's going to keep silent because nobody is from that generation. 40s, 50s. No? Okay.
Do you know why they're called the silents?
Silence is which year?
Now you know why?
40s, 50s?
No.
No, but do you know why they're called the silent generation?
After the war.
It was, yeah, exactly, it was right after the war, the Second World War. So there were the changes, you know, that's why they were called the silent ones.
So as you can check, we gotta generate, sorry?
They're not the baby boomers.
Well, baby boomers,
It's whenever they had the economy stabilized.
Okay.
So there was right after the baby, well, the silent ones.
the silent ones, yes. Anyway, we got here like a graphic, sorry, a slide in which we can define this is silent, the silent generation, baby boomers, and so on. Yeah, I mean, it is part of the presentation, but it's only to contextualize.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
I just want to know what we're working on.
Yeah.
We're just testing you.
That's it, yes, exactly. Let's travel back in time.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice sound.
Travel back in time, and obviously these are TV programs. Yes. I would have liked to have here, I don't know, something about music, because music is something really emotive, right? But instead, I prefer to have something more visual. Yes, just to contextualize this talk. And the exercise we're doing here, you can cry if you want. Yes, if you remember all times, those were my good days. Yes, if you check, almost all the TV programs are set in the 90s, 80s, late 80s. Yeah. But if you see one TV program here that belongs to the 70s or 60s,
Probably baby.
started in 87, 89, 80, but the program has some other episodes in 92, 93, and it was retaken, right? But probably the boom was in the 90s. And that is making us see ideas also about the teaching approaches. Yeah, when they were born, the teaching approaches, and then when they appeared here in Mexico, a bunch of years went by. Yes, and it happened in those times because we obviously didn't have this kind of technology, and technology is a very key element that defines this kind of generation. I mean, not this kind of generation, but the generation we're speaking about, that is the millennials, right? When you define that, I mean, in all the talk, everybody's going to mention the word technology, I don't know, cell phones and those kind of things, but let's see what we can do with that kind of device, right, in class also. Some people don't like it, including me. Yeah, sometimes we are like giving the class and then explaining something, and then the students are not paying attention to you, supposedly, probably they are paying attention to you. Yes, and they are using these devices in class, and I don't know, they are checking what you are saying. Yes, if you don't set the rules, yes, they are going to do that. And sometimes we mistake that action for another one. Yes, and that's another point that we are going to discuss here. Well, the exercise that I want you to please do, sorry, here, is to work in little teams by probably 3 people, the way you are sitting down here, the people you've got next to. Yes, 3, 4 people if you want, you can move the chairs. Yes, you can make a little circle. The thing is to discuss about how these programs affected, yes, in the good sense, or in the bad sense, if you want, positive or negatively, your life. I mean, what you remember from that period, yeah, and then in the end, if you can say something about the way you used to learn English is much better. English or French or another language, yes? So the first point is, what about the program? Yes, I don't know if you used to watch it in Spanish, or I don't know if you used to live in another, for example, in the States, yes, or maybe your TV had these kind of programs, like the new TVs now. I don't know, I don't want to give you more ideas. The thing is that those TV programs existed. I existed also in those years. Yeah. In those years. And I don't know, but she wasn't born even in 96, yeah. Maybe you can see those programs from 88 or 89 or I don't know, 91, 92, yes. But you have seen them. You know about that.
Yes.
What is the difference? Probably the difference is that we saw them originally in Spanish. Yeah, and then she has the opportunity to see them in English by one click. Yes, and that doesn't mean that she has a better learning system. Yeah, or that doesn't mean that we have or we used to have a better learning system. Yes, I mean there are some advantages and disadvantages when English was not in the media for us, yeah, and English is in the media for them. Well, them, not them, for them, yes. She's the youngest here? Yes?
I'm not sure.
No? You too?
I am 29.
29?
She's probably 26, 25. I'm 22. She's
20?
the youngest.
Yeah, she's the youngest here.
She's the
Yes.
youngest.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to participate a lot. The point is that she is a teacher, yeah? Or you're going to be a teacher, right?
Yes, I'm already a teacher.
You are already a teacher and you are a millennial teaching millennials. Yes? I mean, people the same age as you, right? Or teaching post millennials, yeah, or that generation Z, the no offenses, yeah, the zombie generation, yeah, because they are only like
And
looking at.
actually, when I was doing my practice with the classes with Mr. Oscar,
Mhm.
I was teaching to fourth semester.
Fourth semester, okay.
And I was like, it's almost the same age as me.
It's almost the same age, and sometimes it has to do with respect, the way you can conduct the class, and then they sometimes call you by two and not instead. I mean, those implications, for some people that's important, yeah? At least for me, if a student calls me by two, it's okay. And I feel better because I feel younger, yes? But some people don't like it. On the other way around, yes, I have never addressed to a student by two in my life. I have always addressed to a student by two, never by usted. I have had students who, for example, like 5 years ago or 6 years ago, I used to have this student who was about 80, 85 years old, yeah? And when I talk to him, I always call him by two. Yeah, Hector was his name. I don't know if you remember, if you used to teach in the language center of the Normal Superior, he was a very famous person there because he wanted to learn a lot. Yes, I mean, he was taking English 1, English 2, English 3, I mean, all the Englishes. Yes, and he was very famous. And I guess Mario Herrera,
82 years old.
82 years old, yes. And then when we talk in Spanish, no, Hector, mira, es que tú debes de ir a la edad. I don't know, it's something like, it has worked, at least for me. Well, the exercise is, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, 3 minutes, yes, to discuss about this basic question. What about the program, and what about my learning English, in this case? Yes? Come on. That's good, And the question here is, just to continue with the exercise, the question is, how these programs affected, the project, the way you lived in those times, and I don't know if you found like a kind of motivation to study English, or you were hooked by the programs to, I don't know, to sign up in a school, or I don't know, things like that. I don't want to give you too many ideas, right? The thing is that I want to hear you.
How did they affect?
Yes. Who has ideas you can share?
I don't know because I'm older than
Anything to
How did
say?
they really?
To me, I mean, I saw almost all those programs, and some of them at that time, what was the center of the programs were the family. Because
Exactly.
we are talking about
Exactly.
Alf and the Wonder Years, and almost all of them were, the center was the family. But I
Even
used-
this family.
No, I didn't watch that. I don't know what the program was.
No, but you didn't like this baby too. Awesome. But okay.
The thing is that,
He's that with the fun.
yes, I mean, if I go back to that, what I got from those programs was the importance of family, because I watched them in Spanish. not in English, I watched them in
In
Spanish.
Spanish, yes, yes,
So,
okay.
they didn't affect me in the way of motivating me to
Right.
study English or to learn English or to watch them in English.
Mhm. Yes,
Um,
yes, yes.
That's the way that affected me. I
That's the
really
way.
love them. So
Yeah, but the point is that we used to watch those programs in Spanish.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably it was not like a kind of motivation to study English or like that.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Okay, here and later.
In my case, I used to watch all of the series or programs or shows in Spanish too.
In Spanish.
Yeah, I was commenting, we were commenting here that when I was a teen, my father liked to he wanted my sisters and me to practice English.
Okay.
And he put the satellite, the antena parabólica.
Oh, the parabolic, the first.
Oh,
But I didn't watch the anything in English. I was kind of lazy. I didn't care. So I saw all of those series, or most of them, in Spanish. But what I liked, I think that I started loving English because of those series, because most of them
So
are
you felt this
USA.
kind of curiosity to what's going
Yeah,
on?
because the American way of life that you see in those programs.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
the side or the theme of the songs of the
The sense of
shows.
ownership.
Yeah.
Yeah, to belong
and,
to.
and that way I like to love English.
Okay, so we can say differently from her opinion, yes, probably you were like a little bit encouraged to study English, to learn English, to
Uh-huh.
to give that kind of step.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I saw that it was in the USA, and I started wanting to travel to the USA
Yeah, I wanted to travel to the USA.
and learning English.
So the main concept here is curiosity, right?
Yeah.
And that is only, that is another word that we're gonna say belonging to the millennials, right? Yeah?
It was very much like that, and about what you said. I was curious about the vocabulary. I was curious about the name of the program and the music. I was telling them that I come from a little town in the south of the country, and we didn't have like a lot of TV
Yes.
over there. I mean, the signal was very, very difficult
poor.
to get. Yeah. So I had to wait like 1 week or 15 days so I could have a little magazine that it was called Notitas Musicales. And at the end of it, they had like the lyrics, some lyrics in English.
Yes,
And
yes, yes,
I mean,
I
I
know.
was a sensation when I came across in my school to this music, because my English teacher used to say, you sing it, you bring the pictures. So actually they did motivate me to learn.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the same one. I think those programs, at that time, make us to love the U.S. culture or American way of living, and we wanted to know more. And the only way to know more about this culture, it was learning the language. So I think in my case, that was the reason that made me wanted to learn the language.
We can say that was the first full connect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, to give that little step.
Yeah. Now since I learned the language, I started watching them because I have internet in English. So yeah, it was like a wow.
Yes. Yeah, because the TVs in those times, you have to remember they didn't have
Yes.
captions and subtitles and
Yes,
those kind of things.
yes.
Yeah? And now they are, they have those kind of systems. Yes. Okay, I put here this guy, but obviously we didn't learn a lot from You understand the message, so we needed to contextualize the phrases from the other characters. Yes, or the actions, even his actions from himself to the other characters, right? Okay, that's good. Let's continue. Sorry. As I told you, this is a little like definition, but not all the definition, just a little bit. Millennials or learners, have a deep understanding and appreciation for technology, which is a key word. Yes, technology and social connectedness. So it's like a dependence, right? Yeah, I mean technology is always there. For example, what happens if a millennial has a cell phone or a lap or an iPad and there's no Wi-Fi? Yeah, they feel like dying. They start collapsing.
They will die.
They die.
They roll like they mad. They will die.
I want to get back home from my cell phone. I've done that. Yeah. I'm on my way to the university, and then one block away from the university, I my cell phone, and then I have to get back. That's why I always. Sorry, not a millennial. And I'm not a- So imagine.
Today, in a workshop here, the speaker shared a quote and say that this is like oxygen for
Ah,
them.
yeah.
They cannot breathe.
Yeah.
If we are not connected.
And sometimes we see this kind of situation in class. For example, I see that we have here some students from Filosofía, and when these things don't work, they don't want to give the class. Vamos a que el focus no funcionó, and so what?
There is no conditions?
It's not, exactly. That's not a condition. Yeah. What is the topic? The topic is this. Okay. Go on it. And then, oh my God, but I mean, I have all my presentation, and what is it? I can do it. Yeah. Exactly. Go back to the
Of
basics.
course not.
Yes. Let's continue. Okay. And then this is the question, right? And then we answer this question practically, I don't know, 50%, 40%, yeah. And through the presentation, itself, maybe we can find an answer at the end. We're gonna watch a video, and then this video is gonna give you like the key elements for the presentation. You're gonna see like some concepts, yes. You see the video, the images and the messages and everything, and then you can see that the video has certain words, yes. And those words are the spinal cord for this presentation. Oscar is going to speak about those points and like 5 points, yes. And then I'm gonna do the same. Hopefully it works.
My skill, my millennial skills.
Oh, yes. You are becoming a millionaire, right? Yes.
78, 95,
Net generation. Okay. Out of the video, I don't know which one is the concept that got your attention.
Open.
Which one?
The world.
Okay, the world open, right?
That's the origin.
They are original.
Origin that they want,
Ah,
like
original.
everything right now.
Yeah, right now.
Yes, yes.
We do that. Yes, I mean, they expect us to answer immediately, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you have experienced this, but 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning,
Yes.
1 p.m., a.m., sorry, and they send you a message, what's up? Teacher, I have a lot of problems with my presentation, what can I do here? And I say, oh my God, I'm sleeping, right? And then we answer, at least I answer. Yeah, okay, I answered something like, okay, well, you have to do these kind of things and blah, blah. So we are into the track, yes? But I don't know if this is good or bad.
Or bad.
This is right or wrong, yes? Some people criticize that because they say, to me, Andres, you have a life. condition them from this time to this time. Yeah, I can answer cell phones, I can answer WhatsApps, I can answer whatever. Yeah, but sometimes we at least I think on their time. Yes, and if the presentation is at 7 in the morning, yes, and the question is at midnight, and if I don't answer, probably they are gonna blame me for that. And they tell me that, they have told me that, teacher, it's because I sent you a message and you didn't answer.
Yeah.
No, but you sent me the message 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Yes? Yeah, but I sent it to you. And I was like, oh my God. So as if one is totally responsible of that kind of act. Yes? But we need to understand that. I don't know.
Even on the weekend. I mean,
Even on the weekends.
On Saturday, it was like,
Yeah.
so it's
Sunday.
Saturday, and they are like Saturday. Right.
I have a party.
So I have a life, so.
Oh, you can be dancing and answering, dancing and answering. I don't know.
Are you eating and it's
Eating
like.
and answering.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is really problematic, but we need to do something with that, yes. You know, the concept that really got my attention is that 24/7, yes? 24/7, that's why I'm telling you this, right? So, it is a service that they are expected to have, right? And I don't know if we are supposed to give that kind of service. What is your opinion?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think that we have to show them the way to slow down.
Yes.
And, because what I see is that they don't respond in that,
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
They want the response, yeah. But when you need a response, they say, wait a second.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait. So this is not fair for the rest of the world.
Yeah, te dejan en visto.
Exactly.
Nothing happens there, yes? Any other opinion about that? I mean, we need to follow that kind of, I don't know, response or need.
Well, I used to work with the Edmodo platform. I upload activities or the instruction, and then they have to upload the video,
Mhm.
and I set until 2 a.m., for example. If the students upload the activity, the next day we can see it in the classroom. If they don't send it on time, I block the activity so that they
Exactly.
cannot put the
That
information.
is a way to manage that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To condition that. Yes, okay, I cannot answer right now, or I don't know, an automatic response. Yes, like I'm checking that, or you're checking nothing. Yes, and platforms is a very good solution. Yes, you condition the platform. I don't know, like what is the one we have at the university? I forgot the name. Nexus, sorry, Nexus, or any other one. And that is the way you see the students. They like working on, I don't know, weekends, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, the platform is open 24 hours, 7 days a week. Yes, it's a good way.
I
Right?
guess also, I'll let people know that we have to set up rules. Once you set up rules, you have to respect them from the very beginning. You as a teacher and ask them to respect it too.
Yes,
I
exactly,
would
yes.
say that's, it sounds like a kindergarten, but it doesn't matter.
No, I think
You have to set them up.
I think even though we are in the 21st century, something that is classroom management and it's fundamental is to set rules. No matter what, if it is a virtual room, if it is by internet or whatever, I think we have to, that's something important to do.
That's something important, and
Set.
to make them see that if they don't follow the rules, the rules, sorry, they have to pay the price,
Consequences, yes.
the consequences, right?
We have to
Okay,
be assertive.
yes,
We have to be
assertive,
assertive, because
Assertive.
they will swallow us.
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah,
They
there is
swallow
a,
us.
now that you mentioned that word assertive, there is an excellent book, and I don't know, you know it. It dates back from the 70s, 80s, 90s. I mean, I don't know what edition is still now on. And the name of the book is Assertive Discipline. I don't know if you know it. Yeah, it is about that point. I mean, it is, okay, this is me as a teacher, and I respect you, you have to respect me, those are the rules, and then all the investigations there are real cases. Yes, excellent book. If you can download it, speaking of the devil, you can do it. Yes. Okay. Now, with the things you've seen here, I'm gonna give you 1 minute, 2 minutes only, yeah, to define in your own words what is a millennial, right? first, and then you can speak this question too. Yeah, now that you have defined what a millennial is, we can continue with the second question. Is it a challenge to teach them? Why not? And maybe you can provide one of the challenges there, according to your experience, your learning experience, it can be, right? Or your teaching experience, yeah? I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, 3 minutes, that's much. Please, you can work on the same thing first. I want to hear some opinions. Then I need one person to firstly define what a millennial is. You?
No.
Yourself? Yes? Okay. You got a definition there? It is your own definition. I mean, it doesn't matter if it is right or wrong. But we are just.
Well, what I think a millennial is a person who has no idea of what time is. I mean, they can do everything at any time, any moment. If they, for example, are at a party and they have to do homework or they have to do something, when they come back from that party or that family gathering or whatever it is, they just do it. It doesn't matter, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Or, for example, if they want to buy something, they don't have to go to a store, they can just open the computer and buy it at 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, time is not really relevant for these people. Technology is just there, information is just available to them at any time.
Yeah.
And something that I was talking to them is that as teachers, what we say or what we teach them, they, in the past, students used to trust us. And whatever we said was that. But now they check what we said or what we taught them. They confirm it. So, and they make questions. They don't take for granted what you say.
Sometimes they don't believe us.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay. At least I take it that way. I mean, I take it. It is an advantage for me, at least.
Yeah,
Yes. Why? Because you need to go to the class more prepared, better studied. I mean, like that. Why? Because you know that you're gonna be checked and observed. Yes. And everything you say here is gonna be there. Like someone is gonna be checking you. There is always a Wikipedia student in class. All the time. A student who says, "No, teacher, I disagree with you because this and that," and then in our times, a person who said, "I disagree with you," is like, "Okay, see you in second opportunity." You disagree with me?
Or is looking at you to know if you made a mistake.
Yes, if you make a mistake.
That's a specific side.
They're watching you. Are you sure? And that's okay. That's okay. But also it has some advantages because when you are giving information and you are in your class with the concepts and everything and you are on the right track, yes, and someone is checking you and someone says, "Okay, teacher, you're right because I see that here what you're saying is okay because this guy, this doctor from the university of I don't know what university is telling us that exactly what you say is right." Yes, I mean you feel really nice because they are checking what you say is right. Yes, I mean I see this challenge because I see this like as a challenge, as an advantage because you grow. Yes.
Yeah, not only that, I think it's a really challenge to teach them because they expect more from you.
They expect more.
They want you to prepare more. They want you to get new activities every class. They don't accept that you repeat the same activity that you have already done. So they expect more. So you need to work harder. But I was telling them that it's worth it because when you see the results on things, they start producing or they are motivated with the new activities. You feel it.
Exactly, you need to provide with them with more. No, you can do the same activity. I mean, you can do the same
in a different way.
Exactly, in a different way. Sometimes the new generations, when you tell them that they need to have different activities, And they think, okay, teacher, if I have 47 students, I need to plan 47 activities. No, it can be the same exercise, the same exercise with different perspectives.
Different ideas.
Okay, so there is a concept that we're gonna check later on. It says, maybe you remember this concept from the video, it is
Multitasking, yes.
Multitasking, yeah. And there is an approach there that I'm gonna mention when I talk about that. But I can give you something in advance. The approach is, I don't know if you know the teaching approach, differentiated instruction. Yes. By Tomlinson. Yes, I mean, you have the same exercise, but you give a different perspective on the exercise according to your students. Yes, I mean, if you have, and obviously we have instruments and we have tests and we have all the means to know the profile of our students, yes. And once you know them, you can now say, okay, I got like 5, 4, I don't know how many types of students here, learners, yes. And I can do this variety of activities with the same activity, with the same exercise, yeah. And obviously you won't check 47 exercises, different exercises, because it is impossible. Yeah, humanly impossible. If you got the time, I want to tell you, if you got the time, if you have the patience, if you have, I don't know, the tools, the media, and everything, it should be great. Obviously, you're going to work a lot, yes, but you're going to grow up a lot too. It is like when we started teaching, yeah, you remember those times? Yeah, your first classes, your first year, your second year, your third year, and you started producing exercises, a lot of exercises that you still use, I'm sure. Yes, I mean, you have a bunch of resources, yeah, and probably they are the same resources, and that's okay. Yeah, and you only adapt those resources to the needs of the students. Yes, the needs of the students, and you make them think that you just did it a day before. Yes, I mean, this is the business like. Yes, okay.
I would like just to mention, when we were talking about in the back, can you mention what we were talking about?
Okay.
We were saying that the challenge with Indians is to connect with them, person to person, and we said that they're not able to express themselves. They can do it through the chat or whatever, but they don't know how to express their feelings or their ideas or their emotions. And what I do with my son and daughter who are 18 and 19 is that after lunch, I ask them to stay with me, and we do table talk at the end.
Table talk, yes.
And at the beginning they were like, why, Mama? Why do you want to do that? And they were with their cell phones, of course. And I said, because we need to connect. We need to connect. But what are we going to talk about? Whatever you want. And it was quite difficult to start that.
Yes.
And, but we have to train them. We have to train them to do it. I was teaching for 24 years, and then I became a mother, and 25 years. And then I stopped being a teacher for 20 years, and I came back to teaching last year. And this was like, what is going on here? It's impressive. You were saying, remember how we used to teach? Well, I'm just still freaking out on the differences, because it's like I stopped a long time ago, then I begin again, and it's a challenge.
It's a challenge. When you open the classroom and you say, I'm sorry, no, this is the classroom. It doesn't look like a classroom. No, from this time. Yeah, maybe the question is what happened to the world? Yes. Yeah. But inside, the things that happen inside probably are the same. I mean, we have discussions, we have interaction, and the different thing is the kind of interaction. Yeah, we can connect them, as you said, by means of the cell phones even. Yes.
But you know what, I think they like to connect without technology.
Without, yes.
Without it, because I mean, if you do a round table and set a topic that can be very, I don't know, very challenging for them, you can motivate them and make them feel the topic, and they are going to be discussing.
Exactly. You need to be really, really slight to give the direction of the exercise.
Yes.
Because if you say, okay, I want this exercise for, I don't know, next week, this day, etc., and you don't specify, and you don't guide, yes, that is the word I was looking for. and you don't guide the students in the exercise, they are going to do plagiarism. Plagiarism, yes, why? Because time is a big, big enemy, and time is passing by 1 day, 2 days, and then the due date is tomorrow, yes, and then they have to give it to you, I don't know, Monday, it is Sunday, and they haven't done anything, obviously because your direction is not really clear, yes, and sometimes when you give that kind of variety of instruction, yes, that kind of differentiated instruction, and you don't know how to do it, and you don't know how to guide that kind of instruction, they are going to do it unintentionally, because they don't know if this is plagiarism or this is not plagiarism, but they do it. And for you, you think that they are only copy and paste and then the easy way out, yes? But the problem is your instruction, yes? But if you guide them like, okay, I want you to, sometimes we need to go back to that kind of strict behavior from teachers. Yeah, you are going to do these things because the groups sometimes, obviously they are different, and sometimes they need that kind of strict behavior from the teacher, sometimes, yes. And then if you guide them to do, this is the way I want to see, I want to see the paper pink, and pink should be, right? Sometimes it is necessary. I mean, not everything is like free and open, and then you're going to do whatever you want to do, and it is really difficult to handle. If you have the skills to handle that kind of exercise or that kind of instruction, good for you, yes. But honestly, I don't know any teacher with that kind of profile, in my case, and I know many people, yes. I mean, a teacher who, okay, what is the homework? The homework is this, and you can do anything you want. They are going to plagiarize, surely, because they don't know they are doing that. I mean, in their world, this is something common. But if you, like Professor Oscar said, if you guide them and you tell them this is plagiarism, this is copying, I don't want to see that, yes, obviously they are not going to do it because they know they are going to be penalized, yes. Okay, and then the next slide we see the different types of generations, which we were talking about in the beginning of this presentation. We have the silence, 28, 45, more or less, yes. It can vary, maybe, I don't know, it can be a little bit before, a little bit after, but this is the common point, yeah, those years. The baby boomers, 46, 64, it can be before, it can be after. The generation X, 65, 82, so I belong to that generation. Oscar too? And many people here, I guess. Yes. And then the generation we are talking about is the last one, and I think we need to add one more column there that is the generation Z, the zombie generation. Yes? No offices, right? Okay. Yeah, the next one. This is one of the main points for this presentation. I'm gonna take into account only 2 or 3 from this column, and then Oscar is going to continue. Yes, and I think one of the most important ones here is this one, which we have also spoken a little about that. I mean, they are really pragmatic, practical, yes. Okay, this is the task, and what is the task giving me? Yes, I mean, what is the good use I'm going to make from that task? Yes, what is the purpose? What is the intention? What I'm going to learn? Yes, maybe those questions are key questions. When you assign something, yeah, you need to be practical, and then the results of that kind of task has to be something latent, yeah? I mean, something that they can see, they can show, they can demonstrate, they can speak about, and sometimes, why not, they can show off, yeah? And to make them feel proud of it. It can be something challenging, it can be something personalized, like one of the points says over there. Yes, but it all depends on the number of students you have in class. If you have obviously a class of 10 students, you can personalize your projects in a very easy way. But if you have 47, I don't know, 40 students, like it happens in the secondary school system or elementary school system, public systems here in Mexico, it's going to be really, really difficult. But the PENIET, you know the word?
Yeah.
Yes, PENIET. Who works with that? PENIET.
I used to.
You used to? In secondary school, elementary school?
Yeah.
Secondary school? Secondary. PhD thesis on that, yes. Because I was like a little bit forced to do it, yes, and then at the end I like it, yes. I think it is a very excellent program. Why? Because it provides you with variety of exercises and all the cycles. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Yes, all the cycles. Cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3, and cycle 4. They have projects. Yeah, and you can give that kind of differentiated instruction. Yes, differentiated instruction. Obviously, you can get out a little bit from that. Yeah, you can follow the program strictly if you want. Yeah, but at least it provides you with that kind of freedom to decide as a teacher what you want your students to do or to follow as a project. Yeah, that's why I like it. But sometimes teachers don't understand the flexibility of that program. Yes, and when you ask them, for example, this question, do you think the PENIEP or NEPI in English, yes, the PENIEP is flexible? And immediately the response is like, no, it is very strict, it doesn't let you work, it doesn't, yeah. But when you go into it, you can find the flexibility of this program, yes. And also this point, which is the thing that we mainly have been speaking about in this presentation, you need to give your students not only one choice, yes, for a task, for a homework, yeah, but I don't know, 2 or 3 at least, depending on the profile of your students. I'm gonna give you one example. For example, in I'm teaching at the university literature and also a class that is called creative writing, yes, and then the project for creative writing is like, you can write anything you want, yes, like I said before, not to do it yet, but in this case, it was guided. Why? Because what I did was like a little survey. Okay, you are a team, 2 people, 3 people, 4, I don't know, the teams are ready, and then you're gonna give me what you want to write according to the things we saw in class. I mean, we saw how to write a poem, how to write a short story, how to write a fairy tale, I don't know, that kind of creative writing, yes. And once I got the projects in my hands, they want to write a poem because they like poetry. They like to write a memoir because I don't know, the profile they have is narrative, yes. They like this and that, so I prepared, obviously this is too much work, yes, but you grow, as I said before, you grow. If you are designing 1 project, 2 projects, 3 projects, this is the same number of levels you are reaching in your growing as a teacher, yes. So I designed how to write a poem, how to write a short story, how to write a memoir, these from the things I remember in that class, yes, and that was the final paper. You want to write poetry? Okay, write poetry, but this is the way you're going to do it because you need to have a presence as a teacher also, not like, okay, poetry, that's good, you can write any poem you want, yes. Obviously this is not a good idea because they're going to copy many things and then you don't know the track they want to follow, right? So you need to be with them all the time. And now Oscar is going to continue with the second column.
Okay, I'm gonna go on with this section, people. Okay, we all know that millennials tend to be multitaskers. So you can see them in class that they are texting at some moment. So those things, really affect how many times in class. But we have to understand that. So we can make use of different apps in class, as long as we know how to handle it as teachers. So that's something important. Also, something I would like to focus on, basically, the new millennials, they want to get a job, but they don't want to work that much. They want to get a good salary. Isn't it true? They want to get everything easy somehow. Also, something that gets my attention is less reading. They don't like to read that much. They just Google and they just read whatever they have, a short statement, and that's what they get. Yes, they don't want to go deep down reading and, I don't know, to find out new vocabulary, what aspects they can get out of it. So that's what happens. I know you may say, Oscar, don't complain about it. So those are the things we get today. So we need to know and find the ways how we can approach that situation. So how can we approach it? Using, technology. Listen, you can see that they are great communicators. So why not taking advantage of that? Using the right applications, like I said before, probably to find out a new, I don't know, media, you know what media in this case is? Finding out also the right software that we can use in class. We mentioned that Nexus, we use also, what was it now, Blackboard, those platforms. Now we also have forums so you can get in touch with us. It was very hard to handle it. So I finally learned. It took me some time, but now I learned. So I'm on my way to become a little bit millennial. So it takes time, doesn't matter, but I mean, you have to do it. Otherwise, we're gonna stay behind. It's gonna be hard for us to catch up with it, yes? So all of these points are quite interesting. They like to collaborate, they are quite intelligent people. The thing is, we need to guide them, something that we mentioned before. So the guidance in this case implies a lot of preparation from us also. It's not just, okay, just go this way, no, tell them how to do it. So whenever we teach them something, to give very clear instructions. What do I mean by that? Even though we explain, we take for granted that they understand right away. No, show them how to do it. So that's something we have trouble with. And another one, well, gamers, why not using games? Yes? So try to use something back in technology and put them into practice. Yes? So that's something we are somehow having a hard time actually to understand it. Can you please go next one? So how can we approach those points, the tips? So what do we mean by this? Educate ourselves, what we mentioned before. The silent generation, the baby boomers, the generation X, and then we've got the millennials. Remember, we've got millennials. Right now, the kids who are born in these latest years, they are like post-millennials or generation Z. Yes, Z from zombie, I don't know. Yeah, that's what they say. So we have to let students know who we are also, what kind of generation we belong to. I'm sure that many students will believe, you look like my dad, you look like my mom. And we sound like their parents many times. So that's what they need actually. Yes? Can you go next, please? Also, this is quite important, people, because we know the culture nowadays is technology. Why not get in a list made and tell the students this is what is available for you? Focus on what the academy is. Yeah, because I know that most of the time they are texting, they're using at the same time highly different, I don't know, apps, I don't know, probably other platforms to get in touch with other person right in class, I would say. So that's something we need to know. That takes time, believe me. That was something, actually in another talk that we gave, we were searching for some apps, I mean, especially about technology, and it took us some time to find out. I remember one of them that we used was the comic strips. Have you heard of it? That's on Facebook. The one students create stories with a picture of yourself, actually, like a cartoon. You find the right, I would say, features of your face and your body, and then you make a picture of yourself. It was so funny. So that was a good one. Whenever we presented the task-based learning. Yes. What I mean by this, or what we mean by this, is sometimes they don't like to know. I don't care about your life. I just care what I want to learn in that moment. Just tell me what I have to do. I don't want you to tell me that because you sound like my dad. And that's why I'm here, because I don't want to be home. Sounds like that, yes? So that's what happens. So they don't, many times they don't care. Many times, they just want to learn. But as I was talking to a teacher, I mean, not all the millennials are the same. We understand that. Yes. Because she was telling me, no, but we are different. Because I asked her, how will you teach somehow another millennial since you are a millennial? And she said, yes, I mean, technologically, I mean, we agreed somehow that technologically they are the same. Socially, quite different. Because they have different education back home from the others. So that makes a big difference anyway. Next one, please. That's what we mentioned. They need to be guided all the way. Have you noticed that nowadays every time we give direction, especially whenever we give instructions, they have to go one by one? So they want to know exactly, because they get a different point out of it. And that's something that happens to us many times. So we just take for granted everyone understood. So we just give, okay, this is what happens. Hey, this is the assignment, do this. Hey, professor, I have a question. I mean, how does this work? Can I do it like this? Can I do that? Oops. That means that we need to be much more clear. Yeah, we have to go straight to the point and step by step. Yes? Next one, please. I like this one. Identify your teaching hour life philosophy. Who are we? Where we come from? Yes? Many times students want to know what your background is, the way how you teach. I mean, how helpful is this what I'm doing in class going to help me out of this classroom? So the students want to know. Okay, I'm learning English, professor. What am I going to be doing with this? So they wanted to be put on the spotlight. Yes, because they want to know what this is going to be for in my life. And that's, they are very straightforward. Actually, I guess it's the next one. I'll probably one of
the last ones here.
Students are, well, millennials are very straightforward. They just want to get to the point. I don't want you to go around the bush. Just tell me what it is. Tell me what this is for. Actually, that's something I've been experiencing with my teaching practice students. Ask them, what is this for? What am I going to be using this word? For what? For whom? So you have to be straightforward. And thank God, in this case, I realized that the other Oscars and the Y is waking up. In what sense? I'm very straightforward. You're going to pass, you're going to make it. You won't pass, that say, sorry, Margarita. Many students have seen me, oh, Oscar, you're different now. So I have to be like that. So I have to tell them straightforward, if you do this, you will make it. If you don't do it, I'm sorry. That's second opportunity. So that helps a lot. But in this case, I have to know what I'm saying. I'm not going to be saying it just for the sake of it. Hey, this is why, and this is what you have to do. Yeah? Next one. So in that case,
This classroom.
at this. Yeah, but sometimes we just tell them, hey, take notes. Why? Because I know you tend to be visual learners, and once you write it, you activate different, let's say different tools inside your mind to learn. Why not? Yes? And the next one on this, you're the next one. I need to go ahead. Number one.
This is mine, yes.
Yes.
Sorry. I was listening to you. Okay. Well, this point is, as I told you before, the students need to see nice presentations. The problem we got sometimes is that we don't know how to do that kind of nice presentation. Yes, and I'm speaking for myself, right? I mean, usually when we had these kind of presentations, the most important point was the concepts. Concepts, theory, authors, books, and all those kind of things in those years. Yes, and that is important and that is relevant, yeah? But what can we do is the question. What can we do if we don't know how to do these things? Any answer? Yes? I mean, I got this presentation, yes? And then I want to make it nicer, at least a little bit, yes? Because I know that that is a limitation I have, yes? I don't know how to stick some pictures there, I don't know how to set a video there, I don't know how to, I mean those things. But I got my presentation in 1 week, yes? What can I do?
Ask for help.
Ask for help, yeah? And who's gonna help me? My social service student. Yeah, this is my topic. Teacher, I finished my sketch. Now this is my topic and you have to do this presentation. No, imagine. No, obviously we are always there to learn. All the time. But we need a little help from my friends, like the Beatles said in those times, because we are not into that frame, yes? I mean, we need to get into it, but with a little push, probably, I don't know, from some other persons, yes? Or additional support, like it says here, yes? Let's continue, it is about the same. And then this is, the main point here is curiosity, yes? I think we have mentioned this word here also in the beginning of the presentation. She said something about that to make them feel curious. Yeah, I mean, what's going on? What is the thing that is supposed to be expected to have? Yes, as a product. Yes. And then if you give them this kind of motivation to do something, to do a task, yes, and this task is students-centered, yeah, learners-centered, it is much better. Yes. I mean, you know that all the new teaching approaches is pointing on that line, I mean, it is, everything is going to the student and the student and the student, yeah? And we need to be really careful. All those kind of resources to upgrade ourselves, yes? And if we know how to guide them, yes, and we can provoke a little bit of curiosity in them, it is much better, right? It is much, if we know how to administer that kind of task, yes, okay, which is your skill? Your skill is to write something. Yeah, and my skill is not exactly to write, but to speak. Okay, speak about this, I don't know, make a video or things like that, yeah? Using this kind of resources. And then, collaboration. Yes, I don't know what you think about this point number 10. Have you faced this kind of situation in your classes? And the way you have done this? Yes. Read it, and please tell me what you've done with this point. Anything. For example, what you said in the beginning is okay. Yeah, platforms. Good. Any other way?
They're apps. I mean, there are
Apps.
many apps that you can use in the classroom.
Exactly. Yes.
Well,
Giving classes, I was shocked about the students having their phones in their hands, and I was really demanding that put them away.
Mhm.
But now I know that they are part of, and you can take a lot of advantage using the appropriate app in the classroom.
Exactly, and the thing is to understand that kind of perspective. Yeah, and sometimes we don't like it because we don't belong to that generation. And sometimes we think that they are offending us or,
Yeah.
no, but this is the way they live. Yes, usually. I don't know, any opinion here from the new generations? What do
I
you
would
think?
say definitely yes to this, but as you mentioned before, with guidance.
Guidance.
Because when we work together, sometimes the sum of the parts is not the whole. Sometimes they give brilliant presentations and that's okay, but sometimes they work together and it's very obvious that
That only one-
student A, yes, but it doesn't have, but has no idea about what student A was
Yes,
presenting.
yes, yes.
So they read only their page. If some of the members of the team is absent, they say, no, we cannot do the presentation. Hey, it's a teamwork. You have to be prepared for emergencies. If one of the team members doesn't show up, you have to do the presentation, it's your job.
Yes, yes. The guidance here is important because if we don't know how to, how can we say this? If we don't know how to design this kind of collaboration inside the task, not only, okay, you're going to do page number 1, page number 2, and page number 3, but if we don't know how to design this networking, networking collaboration, we are going to have all the time that kind of individualistic collaboration. I mean, it is something really curious, something really interesting, because you have only one product, but I am in charge of page number 1, and then another person, page number 2, and another person, and then it always happens. Yeah, you're going to start? Yes, teacher, I mean, we can start because page number 1 is not here. Yeah, we need to wait. Yeah, he's coming. Ya se viene bajando aquí el autobús. You are like, okay, I can give page number 1 if you want. No, wait.
Or the
Yeah.
phones, slides 1, 2, and 3, that's Times New Roman.
Yeah.
Slides 4, 5, and 6 is Tahoma.
Yes.
That's all. It's
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the important thing here is to design something, something inside the task, to have this kind of networking collaboration. Yes. Okay, like Oscar said before, you have to go to the point. Yes. This is this is the use, and this kind of task, or this is what you have to do, exactly what you have to do. Sometimes we need to we need to be that way. Yes. And then the other one is something that we have already mentioned here. This is the last point, and you need to provide your students with variety of tasks. And then this is the moment when I'm going to give you the reference. Yes. Tomlinson, I mentioned the author. Yes, you know her. She's a woman. Tomlinson. Yes, only one person here. Is the differentiated instruction. Take a look at this theory. I guess you not only will like it, I think you're going to fall in love with it. Yes, differentiated
What's
instruction.
the name
You
of
can
the
Google
other?
it. The name is Tomlinson, is the last name. Yes, Ann Tomlinson. Yes, on the differentiated instructions.
Actually, just got to many other books sometimes.
Yeah, many books,
Many different books.
I think the newest one
It's
is
Oxford.
Yeah, it's Oxford? No.
Oxford.
Yeah, it's Oxford.
Oxford, yes.
Oxford? Yes.
I think the newest one, she is still writing articles and participating in conferences and all those things, but the newest one is from 2014. Yeah, 2014, differentiated instruction.
And one more point I would like to say about this one. Whenever you say to limit multitasking, is why not, as we said before, whenever you set the rules, you can tell them, okay, you're going to be using this technology in class for this moment. Then, okay, stop it, now there's no more of this.
Yes.
So try to limit them, not to let them free completely, because they're going to be wasting their time and not paying attention.
Yeah, this is what I was telling you, for example, when in my creative writing class, yes, okay, what do you want to write? From you to me, and then from me to you, right? And this is the way we can limit that, because if you openly let them decide, I don't know, it is something really difficult to manage, yes? Okay, and then Oscar is going to...
Okay, now quiz time. Can you answer this one on your own, please? Are you as digital as a millennial? Use email?
Yes.
Start email notification? Read Wikipedia? Read a blog? Look at YouTube, Flickr, or similar?
Yes.
You're millennials. Upload it to YouTube, Flickr, or similar?
Yes.
Visited Second Life Island?
No,
What's that again?
it's a game.
It's a game. Like Candy Crush?
The Candy Crush and the Farmville, something like that. Yes? Now, let's find out. Are you a digital native, a digital immigrant, or a Luddite?
I'm a digital immigrant.
You understand what a Luddite is?
No.
Someone who's against technology.
Yes, I know, I said no like free, so I think immigrant.
I guess most of us, I would say. And I guess we're forced to be digital immigrants. At least.
Yeah.
Why? Because we keep changing. And one of the main conclusions for these people, I would say that we need to know. I mean, I would say that also we need to re-educate ourselves.
Yes.
On what, in this case, learning how the students behave nowadays. So they're quite different from what we used to be in the past. So that's what happens to teachers. That's why we always say, a teacher never stops learning. Never. Why? Because you have to keep up at yourself, updating. So what's going on? What's new? Even on music. I remember whenever I used to play my music in classes, oh, that's what my grandpa likes, teacher. I guess I'm a little bit old, so I have to update. Now, I love Katy Perry. I like Rihanna a lot. I mean, I like, which one? Maroon 5, well, it's okay. Well, I like Nicki Minaj a lot. So stuff like that. Yes?
Everybody does.
So everybody does. Okay, here we have an extra one. And this, can you come now? We have another one, not this one. No.
Not this one.
So we have another extra quiz. So you can also get it from the link. There's a link underneath, right on the bottom. So that's the one that you can even answer back. Number 11, and also number 6. Do you sometimes send the text that contains nothing but emojis? Isn't it true? So in this case, the more yes answers, the more millennial you are.
Millennial as you think.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is a standing brunch? I mean, I know brunch, but standing.
The standing brunch is most of the time whenever you have some meal. I mean, remember that nowadays not many people sit.
Okay.
Like a tacos parados, we know that. Yes.
From the Calzada Avenue.
Yes. There's another one that, the one, the last one, number 12. Can we reward on onesie outside of the house? You know what a onesie is? Mameluco. Mameluco. Nowadays, I've seen other people wearing a onesie. If you are wearing that, then you are close to the millennials.
Not as millennial as you.
Yeah, I know.
You change your perspective.
So that's how, as you can see, like I said, the more yes answers, the more millennial you are.
I'm not millennial.
You're not
Or
millennial.
not.
I spring of class.
Yeah, you are. You are.
Only with technology.
So here we have the references that we got for today's presentation.
Yes, yes, yes.
Listen, like I said, you can answer that one by one. We want to thank you so much for this, for your coming over. Thank you so much. And here we have
Bueno, no la he comprado, pero
email address. Okay? Thank you so much.
There is another source. Thank you guys, thank you very much for coming.